Welcome back to the Sholder Spotlight Podcast. I am your community leader and host, Adriana. Today we have with us Patti Miller.
Hello.
So, Patti, tell us a little bit about yourself. Let the Sholder community know who Patti is.
Well, I live in Colorado. I love the outdoors, as you can see. I'm mostly retired. I always say I've retired and unretired several times, but you can find me a lot either out on the water, sea kayaking, or whitewater, or skiing. That's a lot about me. I have a 27-year-old daughter who is an aerial acrobat. And when people see her up there, they go, "Doesn't that make you nervous?" And I say, "No, I wish it was me."
Oh, that's great. What about Sholder inspires you?
Well, certainly the people. And it's very satisfying to work with people and see them come to recognize the power within themselves, finding their own answers, and just being there to shoulder to support them. And learning the active listening skills has been very helpful and very satisfying. Prior to shoulder, my default is to problem solve. I'm an engineer, so
So how do you use your listening skills in your daily life?
Well, one of the main reasons I actually took the training was I thought it would be useful in, parenting the adult child, because you can't just tell them what to do anymore. So that was one of my motivations, and I think it's been good in a lot of my friendships.
What about the 5 shoulder skills do you like?
Well, I do think, one, the active listening, and then, switching it to outcomes and, accountability. So, as a way to not let something just be, unloading the problems, but to turn it or at some point around into moving forward.
I love that. That's such a great perspective. Okay, what drew you and keeps you involved in the shoulder community? And I will say that you are actively involved, and I do see you pop into parties every once in a while. So what keeps you involved in the shoulder community?
I've made some really good friends through the shoulders that were actually in my training that I keep in touch with. And they're people who, come from different backgrounds than I do. So that has been really good. And I really like, the core people who have founded the company. I definitely like seeing the progress of building a company and the community.
What gifts do you believe you bring to shoulder? Like empathy, compassion, etc.
I think it's a little different. I feel like I, I've lived a lot of lives, different reincarnations. And I, find every person I've talked to, whether it's maybe playing a little bit more of the mom role, listening, or, with teachers, we left the country and I had to homeschool my daughter. So I can really empathize with, the teacher people. So I bring a lot of different experiences that I can, relate to those people in their daily lives. And I want to say this, my most challenging part of shoulder is when I talk to somebody and I really listen to them, then I really, like with my friends, you like, well, what happened? I don't get to do that part of it. So that's kind of my biggest challenge is knowing, once they've left and gone off, to not know how that particular situation resolved itself.
Oh, that's so fascinating. You have a curious nature.
Yeah, I mean, I want to know what happens and how they go forward, but that's not our role. Our role is to be there in the moment.
What shoulder skills do you use in your daily and personal and professional life?
Well, I really like what was it? The weight, or the, why am I talking? I say that a lot to myself to be a better listener.
How has your life changed because of shoulder?
Hmm. I do think that, as again, I said, one of the focus has been for me with my daughter to be a better listener, not just jump in and problem solve for her. Um, so that's changed. And, a bit of a more diverse group of friends. That's been, people, there's two friends in particular I've made through Shoulder that, aren't people that were in my life before. So that's interesting.
It's nice. And are they just curious, are they here in Colorado?
Yes, they are. Yeah.
Oh, okay. That's cool. That's cool. That you get
And they're
to,
people I can get to go outdoors with me.
yeah. How did you find shoulder? I'm just curious.
Oh, well, actually, one of the board members is a friend of mine.
Oh, okay.
I've heard about Shoulder from very, very beginning.
Oh, gotcha. Gotcha. Well, that's wonderful. And then, of course, the last question I always like to ask is, if you were to leave Shoulder tomorrow, what would you take with you? And what would you leave the Shoulder community as part of an essence of Patti?
Well, as I said, the active listening I keep coming back to because that's something I really value and needed to work on. And, I think the curve, the shoulder arc, the 5 things, that's a really good framework to just go back and review and, think about in your day-to-day life. So that's good. And I hope that in the essence of it, like I said, I've made a few good friends here. And sometimes for me, those friends are like, instead of being in a shoulder situation, taking this one friend out onto the lake, and getting in the middle of the lake and saying, okay, let's talk. So I think sometimes moving it outdoors. I hope that could happen for people.
Oh, that's a great idea. I love the idea of being on a lake with a friend and just having a conversation.
Yeah, because it was a friend that just kind of wasn't really opening up, but I could tell was in a lot of pain.
Mhm. Well, thank you so much, Patti. This has been a delight and a treasure to have you here with us this morning. I was about to say this evening. And we look forward to seeing more of you in the Shoulder community.
Great. Thank you.